Hi, good evening. Hi, this is Christine Crowell, and today I want to talk to you about something really important and learn the world's richest man in the world, learn the CEO secret habits that he has, which is Elon Musk, is who I'm referring to today. And what I want to talk to you about in this video, and I'm going to be going live tonight as well, and really want to talk to you about his CEO success habits that you can also learn from that as well. And I'm talking about the positive things that Elon Musk has managed to achieve, although through some really strange ways, for example. So let's talk about the CEO success habits that Elon Musk has managed to achieve. Now, he has been really focused and dedicated from a young age. I mean, literally, he used to sleep in his office so that he could get things done. He's a workaholic, and he still is a workaholic. He's probably doing 100 hours a week, for example, and probably hardly getting any sleep at all. That is just from what I can see and what I can gather from what he's doing. Excuse me. So, excuse me, I've got a cough. In today's video, I'm going to be analyzing Elon Musk, of how he's become the richest man in the world today and what methods is possibly used, ethical and unethical, for example. Now, what he's also done is he's looked at his competitors in his niche, and really he basically was out to, I'm going to say this, annihilate them, in order for him to become number one. For example, the richest man in the world. He just came from nowhere, really. He was first at probably, a couple of billions, and then suddenly he just leaped, and he was like the horse that bolted out of the gate and won the race to become the richest man. And this is what the video tonight is going to be, my live, that I'm going to be discussing some of his strategies that he's used, which you can also look at using in your particular business as well. So some of the things here is that I'm going to be discussing is that I believe that a lot of it was AI that he used in his business to help him to get all of these contracts. He's got all of these government contracts. The government is getting $8 million given to him a day. Now, whilst he stopped all of the other aids and all of the other contracts that were affected in the White House, through the Doge crew, for example, but his contracts never stopped. That still continued. No one's, going through his contracts that he's got or auditing him. Now, when you have a contract, you're meant to be audited anyway, yearly, for example. Well, at least it's that way in the UK. Now, they're auditing everybody else, but who's auditing Doge? Who's auditing Elon Musk contracts? Whilst his was still, going on, he literally stopped other people's contracts. I mean, literally stopped them dead in its tracks. And many people have suffered through it. And today's video, I want to talk about this more in great detail with you. So I'm going to be discussing with you the AI role that maybe Musk companies used, because he's very fond of AI and robotics and technologies. Look, he's kind of like the king of robotics and AI anyway, for example. So let's look at this, right? So, is company Tesla AI for self-driving technology? Autopilot, self-driving, for example. Then we've got SpaceX. They use AI as well for their spacecraft navigation and automation, for example. So there's also lots of other businesses where he's won contracts which are to do with AI. Now, winning these government contracts, well, to begin with, he didn't really get on with Donald Trump didn't get on with him. To begin with, years ago, they didn't get on well. Now, all of a sudden, they're buddies, and he's in the Oval Office and hasn't even been elected and there he is speaking for Donald Trump in his Oval Office as well. Now, his son, little X, bless him, he said it how he felt. And children speak their minds. They are true and they will speak their minds, for example. And Donald Trump didn't question that or say anything with regards to what little X had said. I believe I heard him say something about, kind of shushed him away kind of thing. But, like Elon Musk is winning all of these contracts. And he's won massive contracts. And these contracts that he's won is from NASA, for example, the US military and other agencies. However, he also has an engineering initiative background, and he knows about cost efficiency and also execution as well. But he also did a lot of, I believe, he probably used a lot of AI when he was bidding for the contracts. And that was possibly his greatest strategy. And now that he's in the White House, and I'll say, Doge and his team, for example, have been assigned to go through everybody else's finances apart from Elon Musk finances. I haven't heard Elon Musk to say, look, they're going through all of my contracts and we're going through it like a fine-tooth comb to ensure that there's no wastage. Is that happening for him? I don't think so. He's not mentioning it. And we're not hearing this either, for example. Now, he has managed to get this wealth accumulation through AI. And it really has helped him to scale his business and improve his products and reduce costs. But his wealth explosion mainly came from Tesla stock price, and also he soared due to the market dominance and investor speculation. So AI was a win for him. But it also helped when he did Tesla and SpaceX, and he was able to stay competitive, for example. He also sold off a lot of stocks and shares as well. But bear in mind that the world's richest man would not be the world's richest man if it wasn't for the contracts that he's won. So was those contracts won fairly, or was it bias? Look, Elon Musk, he's had stimulus checks. He's had a lot of subsidiaries. He's had a lot of things given to him from the government, just like everybody else in the US, for example. But yet no one's gone in and looked at, did he really need that stimulus check, for example? What was that for? So I'm going to be diving really deep into Elon Musk, the world's richest man, and how I believe, and from the research that I've done, how I believe that he has become to become the world's richest man in the world. Not just in the States, but in the world, sorry. I also believe that is Elon Musk, is he safe, or is he the safest richest man in the world, or is he the most dangerous richest man in the world? That is a question that I would like to really delve into a bit more deeper, for example. So, like I said, there's the AG, they're asking him, they're saying, look, the contracts that you've won, how much has that been won with you using AI? Because that's his speciality, isn't it? So I'll be delving into this a bit more deeper as well. So I really want you to join me tonight, 7 p.m. UK time, and that's 2 p.m. American New York time, Atlanta time, for example, because I'm going to really delve into Elon Musk, the world richest man. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm not doing this to push him and promote him. I'm doing it to show you how he's won these contracts. Okay, and I believe it's been on unfair levels as well. However, I also know that there's contracts out there that you can get in America, for example, if you are in America, that there's contracts that you can also apply for. And if you use his strategy, the good part, for example, then there's no reason why you can't win as well at winning contracts. This is the reason why I'm talking about Elon Musk, because he has played a master game with the world and with the government, the American government that is actually in pockets with, for example. When I say in pockets, I'm not saying that, there's any backhanders going on, because I don't know. So I'm just a normal human being. But I also know that there's been a very, very biased thing that's happening here, because usually you don't win contracts if you know any relative or any employee, or you work or in that environment that where those contracts are coming from. So I believe that he's used AI and the algorithms to win these contracts. And now that he's delving into people's real personal data, and he's just been awarded this contract, which is like 300 million to 400 million dollars, for example. He's been awarded that just a few days ago. How many people applied for it? What was the ratio, what was the scoring criteria to make him the winner of that contract? Why was it that, oh yes, I've won this contract, but was it mentioned how many people applied for this particular contract and what the scoring criteria was? I'd love to know if anyone here did apply for a particular contract and Elon Musk won you to the race, for example. But there's something wrong here, for example, because there's too much, it just seems like there's too much favoritism for one person to keep winning all of these big, big contracts. That's how he's become the world's richest man in the world, because he's won all of these big contracts. He's gone for the big contracts and the most, and don't get me wrong, he's got a high IQ from what I've been told, for example, and what I've researched. But, and he's also talking about, you know, going up into space and creating a new planet and things like that, and that worries me as well, because what we're doing here on Earth, for example. What's wrong with us being here on Earth? Why is he looking at creating another planet? Moving to another planet, for example, and creating this and that and the other with it. That's another video for another day. But I've been really researching Elon Musk and what he does. And he has worked hard. Not saying he hasn't worked hard for it, and he's still working hard on his businesses, but he's now involved in the US Department of State, for example, and knows everyone's business by the looks of it. But this is the world's richest man in the world who wasn't elected to be president or a government official. Donald Trump has given him a position, but there's a lot of things that seem biased to me. And they just seem to be putting tariffs on everybody that doesn't agree with them. They're tariffing the countries that don't agree with them, which is going to put prices up for everybody. And this is where, going back to the old days, going back to community. Remember, we used to grow things in our own gardens, in our back gardens, or we would have like an allotment, or we'd go to some place and we'd, plant fruit and vegetables, for example. The local farm, we'd go to the local farm. My father, when we used to go shopping on a Thursday, when he was alive, we used to go shopping on a Thursday. He used to take us to a farm every single week. So we had to pick our own fruit and vegetables. So he knew, so that he would show us where they come from and what to look for in when you're picking fruit and veg. And he would always shop at the local farm, whether it's for fruit, vegetables, or chicken. My dad didn't really eat meat, so we did. So he would pick the best fish. You'd know all of this. And it seems like we haven't been building in our own backyards. We've been relying on too much delivery from abroad. And now we're getting all these tariffs happening, which is putting our prices up for everything. Whereas if we go back to basics and find a square part in your garden, if you have one, and start planting, putting some potatoes in soil will amount to loads of potatoes, for example. I'm just saying this as an example. And even if you got a windowsill, there's things that you can plant there. We've got to start looking at being back to basics, because we're reliant too much on our government to provide us with these things, and then these prices get out of hand. Even the farmers are in trouble as well due to this. So join me tonight at 7 p.m. UK time. That's 2 p.m. New York, Atlanta time. And I'm giving you those time difference so that you can judge depending where you are in the world. I also want to say thank you so much for your subscribing to my YouTube channel and your likes and your comments. I truly, truly appreciate you. I really do. And thank you. And I want to be able to give you value as well, because Elon Musk is doing his thing with contracts, but you can also apply for contracts as well. I'm not saying apply for the big contracts like him, but you can start off baby steps, small steps, for example. All right, so thank you for listening. I look forward to speaking to you in a couple of hours. Hope you could be able to join me or watch the replay. Comment, what do you think? Do you think that this is the world's richest man in the world? Do you think he got rich through becoming the world's richest man by winning all of these contracts from America? Do you think that? I do. I think he kind of like just from 2019 and 2020 just climbed up to the top. But Elon Musk was receiving different subsidiaries from the government as well as stimulus checks as well in the States. So stay tuned for the live tonight, and I look forward to speaking with you then. I'll speak to you later. Thank you. Bye.